There are places on Earth that defy logic, places where the laws of nature seem to bend, shatter science, and leave even the bravest explorers asking the same question: what is happening here? From deserts with eternal burning fire, to forests where compasses spin wildly and thousands have chosen to vanish forever. I'm talking about real locations, places you could visit tomorrow if you dared. But I have to warn you, some mysteries aren't meant to be solved. Some doors, once opened, can never be closed. Today, we're exploring 5 of the most mysterious places on Earth, places that challenge everything we think we know about our planet. Are you ready to descend into the unknown? Let's begin. Let's start with a place that looks like it was ripped straight from the apocalypse. Picture this. The year is 1971. Soviet geologists are drilling for natural gas in the heart of the Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan. It's all routine work until the ground beneath them suddenly collapses, swallowing their entire drilling rig and creating a massive crater. But here's where it gets terrifying. The crater begins releasing dangerous methane gas. Fearing a catastrophic poisoning of nearby villages, the scientists make a drastic decision. They set the crater on fire, believing it will burn out in a matter of days. That was more than 50 years ago. It never went out. The fire is still burning. The crater, now known as the Door to Hell, or the Darvaza gas crater, is a gaping wound in the earth, measuring 230 feet wide and 65 feet deep. Day and night, flames roar from hundreds of fissures, creating an inferno that can be seen glowing for miles across the desert. Local legends say the crater is a gateway to the underworld. At night, when you stand at the edge and peer into the orange abyss, it's hard to argue with them. The heat is so intense it drives you back. The roar of the flames sounds almost alive. But here's the part that keeps scientists puzzled. Where is all this gas coming from? Nobody knows how much gas is actually down there. By all estimates, the reservoir should have been depleted decades ago. Yet the flames continue, as if the earth beneath the Karakum Desert is hiding an immense, secret, inexhaustible source of fuel. This burning pit could extinguish tomorrow, or it could burn for another 1,000 years. From fire, we turn to water, but not just any water. In the forests of northern Minnesota, along the Brule River, there's a waterfall called Devil's Kettle. At first glance, it seems ordinary enough. The river flows, splits around a rocky outcrop, and wait, half the waterfall behaves normally, cascading down into the river below. But the other half, it pours into a hole in the rock and vanishes completely. For decades, hydrologists have been obsessed with a simple question: where does the water go? Scientists have tried everything. They've dumped dye into the hole. They've thrown in ping pong balls, GPS trackers, and colored logs. Nothing, and I mean nothing, has ever emerged downstream, in nearby lakes, or anywhere else. Thousands of gallons of water pour into Devil's Kettle every single day, and it just disappears. Some theories suggest an underground river system, possibly connecting to Lake Superior miles away. Others propose a massive subterranean cavern deep below the surface, slowly filling with water that will one day trigger a catastrophic geological event. Recent studies claim they've solved the mystery, suggesting the water rejoins the main river through underwater channels. But here's the problem: they still can't prove it. They can't track the water. They can't map the route, which means the answer they're giving us might just be the answer they want us to believe. Because the truth is that Mother Nature has a secret buried deep beneath Minnesota's forests, and she's not telling. If you're enjoying this descent into the unexplained, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss where we're going next. Now we travel to Japan, to the base of Mount Fuji, wherein lies a forest so dense that once you step inside, sound itself seems to die. This is Aokigahara Forest, and it's known as the most haunted forest in the world. The trees here grow so densely that once you're inside, sunlight barely reaches the ground. The forest floor is a twisted maze of roots and volcanic rock, where sound is swallowed by the vegetation. Compasses malfunction because of the iron-rich volcanic rock beneath your feet. You can't hear birds. You can't hear wind. You can't hear anything except your own breathing, just your heartbeat. The Japanese call it Jukai, the sea of trees, but they also call it something else, the suicide forest. It's the world's second most popular location for suicide. Since the 1950s, hundreds have walked in and never walked out. Every year, search teams sweep through the forest, finding dozens of bodies, some fresh, others decomposed, consumed by the forest. Signs stand at the entrance, posted by the government, pleading with visitors to reconsider, to think of their families, to reach out for help. But here's what makes Aokigahara truly mysterious. Long before it became known for tragedy, the forest was already feared. In Japanese mythology, it's said to be haunted by yurei, which are vengeful spirits that lure travelers off the path to join them in eternal wandering. Ancient tales speak of ubasut, the practice of abandoning elderly relatives in the forest to die, their anguished spirits cursing the woods forever. Search teams enter regularly, marking their paths carefully. They know what happens to those who don't. Scientists say the compass malfunction is just geology. They say the silence is just the forest's density. They say there's nothing supernatural here. But ask the search teams what they feel when they're deep inside. Ask them why their compasses fail. Ask them about the silence. Some forests are just trees and earth. Aokigahara is something else. From the horror of Aokigahara, we move to a mystery carved not in trees or shadows, but into the earth itself, by hands that died over 1,000 years ago. Picture this: the Peruvian desert, bone dry, empty, silent, and stretched across 170 square miles of this wasteland are hundreds of massive drawings: a hummingbird, a spider, a monkey, a condor with a wingspan longer than a football field. These are the Nazca Lines, and they shouldn't exist. Here's why. They were made between 500 BCE and 500 CE by the Nazca people. Simple stone tools, no advanced technology, but somehow they created designs so massive, so precise, that you can only see them properly from the sky. And the crazy part, the Nazca never flew. So why would they spend years creating images that only the heavens could see? The technique itself was simple. They removed the reddish pebbles covering the desert floor, exposing lighter soil beneath. The desert did the rest. No rain, no wind. The lines stayed perfect for 1,500 years. But here's the question that haunts archaeologists. Why? Some say they're astronomical calendars, and they're not wrong. Many lines align perfectly with stars, planets, and solstices, like a massive Stone Age observatory carved into the ground. Others believe they were ritual pathways. Evidence shows people walked these lines during ceremonies. Perhaps they were praying for rain. The Nazca civilization eventually collapsed from drought, so water was everything to them. And then there's the theory that makes people uncomfortable: messages to the gods, or to something else watching from above. In the 1960s and 70s, a few researchers suggested something even more intriguing. They suggested the lines were ancient runways or markers for extraterrestrial visitors. Mainstream archaeologists dismissed it, but the core mystery remains. How did they create designs this perfect without being able to see them? The monkey's tail, it's a perfect logarithmic spiral, the kind of mathematical precision that shouldn't be possible with rope and stakes. Some figures show geometric knowledge we can't explain. Recent technology only deepened the mystery. Aerial laser scanning and AI have discovered over 800 new geoglyphs, some so faint that archaeologists walked right over them for decades without noticing. The Nazca people left no written language, no diagrams, no instructions, just lines in the sand that point to the sky. One of archaeology's greatest puzzles, visible only to those who can fly. Why spend generations creating something you'll never see completed? Why carve messages so large that only the gods could read them? Was it faith? Devotion so strong they didn't need to verify their work? Or did they know something we don't? Did they have a way to see from above that we simply haven't discovered yet? The desert keeps their secrets, and the lines keep pointing to the sky. Our final destination takes us out to open water, to a place so unsettling it makes the Bermuda Triangle feel like a tourist destination. In the Pacific Ocean, somewhere between Japan, Taiwan, and the Bonin Islands, lies a stretch of sea with a reputation black enough that locals won't talk about it. They call it Ma no Umi, the Devil's Sea. Some call it the Dragon's Triangle. Out here, ships don't just sink. They vanish. Planes don't crash. They disappear from the sky. No warning, no distress calls, nothing. And unlike the Bermuda Triangle, this region is officially recognized by the Japanese government as a danger zone. Let me tell you what happened in the early 1950s. In a single year, Japan lost 5 military vessels in this exact spot. 5 ships, over 100 men all gone. No wreckage, no bodies, no explanation. So in 1952, the Japanese government had enough. They sent out a research vessel called Kaiyo Maru No. 5 to investigate what was happening. It vanished too. That was the breaking point. Japan did something they'd never done before. The area was officially declared a danger zone. They changed all the shipping routes. The message was clear: stay away from the Devil's Sea. But the disappearances didn't stop. Fishermen avoid the region like a curse. Pilots flying overhead report sudden instrument failure, compasses spinning, radios cutting out, and visual distortions that make the horizon look like it's bending. The few survivors who made it out tell weird stories. Stories of walls of fog appearing out of nowhere, calm seas suddenly turning violent despite clear skies, and electronics dying all at once, as if someone flipped a switch. Science offers its theories. The Devil's Sea sits right on top of several volatile tectonic plates, an area of intense volcanic activity and underwater eruptions. Some say methane gas explodes from the seafloor, creating massive bubbles that lower water density and causing ships to sink without warning. Others blame underwater earthquakes, capable of generating rogue waves that rise and vanish without a trace. Sounds reasonable, right? Except it doesn't explain the planes that vanished thousands of feet above the ocean. It doesn't explain why electronics fail. It doesn't explain the pattern. And it definitely doesn't explain the silence. And the silence matters. Japanese folklore tells a different kind of story. Ancient legends speak of dragons living in underwater palaces, massive sea creatures guarding their territory with a jealous fury. Fishermen swore that during storms, a dragon would rise from the deep and drag entire ships into the darkness below. But modern sailors describe something even more unnerving: an absolute, suffocating silence that falls over the water right before something bad happens. The wind stops. The waves go flat. Even the engines seem to quiet, as if holding their breath. In that silence, they say you can feel something beneath you, watching. Whether the cause is geological, magnetic, or something we can't explain yet, the Devil's Sea remains one of the most feared places on Earth. Planes reroute to avoid it. Ships pass through only when they must. And when they do, they move fast. Because out here, in the Dragon's Triangle, the boundary between our world and whatever waits below feels terrifyingly thin. 5 places. 5 mysteries that refuse to be solved. These places exist. They're real. You could touch them, explore them, stand at their edges and peer into the unknown. Which one of these places fascinated you the most? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mysteries the world is hiding. See you in the next episode of The Mystic Explainer.